back at it with our Project 55. Now, last time out, we had the engine in the machine shop. That's being taken care of now. Now it's time to get the engine bay ready. This car is going to paint very, very soon. And I decided where originally I was going to leave the engine kind of the base somewhat original. Well, Brendan sort of talked me out of that. So now we're going to strip all the wiring. We're going to strip the dash. We're going to take it down to bare metal. Then we're actually going to smooth out this engine bay for a really cool custom look. Unfortunately, we ran into one little problem with the car we never expected. We did find a little bit of rust. Now, thankfully, it's not a big deal, but somewhere I never thought to look was the sunroof itself. Look how badly rotted this is. What's nice, though, the sunroof channels are clean, the drains are fine. Somehow water just got up inside here on both sides and rusted out the frame, so I'll have to get a new sunroof. Now, another trick when it comes to restoration is to make sure you photograph everything so you know how it goes back together. Now, that sounds funny since we're actually videoing the whole thing, but still having these photos makes it a lot easier when we put the wiring harness and stuff back in to remember where grounds go, where clips go, how everything is routed. This is why race cars don't have air conditioning. Whew. Anytime you take apart a 26-year-old car, you're gonna find some things you didn't expect. We're totally expecting that. It's not that big of a surprise, but there are a couple things we kind of really didn't think we'd have to fix that we're going to have to. First of all, with the hood hinges, we knew the hood flew up. Well, it actually bent more up in here than we thought we did, so this will actually need some repair at the body shop before we get the hood to fit right. The biggest issue, and one I sort of knew of, know how bad it was our firewall down here. At some point in time, the car had a bad pressure plate on it, and whoever was working the clutch, it put a lot of strain on the firewall. It cracked here, it's cracked up over here as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that as straight as we possibly can, and we'll build some sort of a reinforcement plate, or maybe we'll just clean it up, fill it in, and convert to hydraulic. The car had an aftermarket security system in it. We saw a whole bunch of wiring under the hood, didn't know where it went to. Turns out it had an MSD in it installed at some time. And the car is stock, besides a shifter and flow masters. I guess they decided they needed ignition as well. And that literally right there is on, it's in the shock top. Brake lines are out of the way. Ugh. Yum. So now we're moving back inside the car. We just removed the brake booster. Now we're gonna actually remove the dash and get the rest of the wiring out of the car. Now, the previous owner actually found this used opal gray carpet that's in amazing shape. So we're actually gonna keep this so we can keep the original style carpet in the car. So remove everything else out of the way, and then again, take the dash off. One of the cool things about the Cobras is the build date. It's actually written on the back of the glove box. April 16th, 1993. they ran power up to the main harness to power the fog lights because the factory fog light stuff melted. Once you have the dash off, you're going to spend a lot of time. There's tons of harnesses back here. You disconnect everything for the cluster, HVAC, speakers, wiring harness, all kinds of things. Just make sure everything is disconnected before you try to take it out of the car. At one point in time, this car popped the heater core went out on it, and there is nasty Florida swamp water all over the floor. All right, so the wiring is out, the dash is out of the car. We're ready to go back under the hood and do some more work there. But before, we give you a little sneak peek at one of the modifications we're making to this car. Now, for me, a Foxbody Mustang doesn't look right without a cowl hood. Reached out to Cervini's and they sent one of their 2.5-inch cowl hoods, which is gonna look absolutely perfect on this car once it's finished. All right, so as far as under the hood goes, those of you who follow me on social media saw that I made a post about Brendan a couple days ago. Now, my plan for the engine bay was to clean it up, just go through everything and then paint it original color. Well, Brendan insisted that we take it to the next level. So we reached out to Scott Rod, bought a bunch of their panels, and we're gonna smooth out the entire engine bay. So the panels that we got, they make ones that cover this area here, boxes the frame rails, and then actually clean up the tower. We're gonna start with the tower pieces. Basically, it's gonna go in place and line them up down here on the frame rail. We put them on basically to cover up all the holes. We're gonna weld these on, then we'll grind them smooth. Then when we get the car painted, we'll do a little body fill to make it look like it's completely smooth. What we're gonna do here though is the panel is pre-cut. Just figure out exactly where you want it. Then we're gonna mark it so we can take off the paint and weld. All right, so one of the first rules of restoration is to know your limitations. While I can weld, they're usually not pretty. Brendan's a much better welder than I am, so I'm gonna let him handle our engine bay. All right, Brendan, awesome job welding these up so far, but here you can get an idea of what it's gonna look like when we're done. I mean, it'll be completely smooth. We'll grind all these welds down, put some body filler in there, and it'll look a lot better than even the factory ever imagined. Now, we had maybe 3-4 hours probably into doing this side, so there's a lot of work involved here, and we still have to grind them down, but I think the end result is gonna be worth it. So next time out, we're gonna finish getting this car ready to go to paint finally. We're gonna take that to the paint shop and get back on the engine.